This album was a turning point because I feel like it was the first time I really had to make a decision about what my path was going to be. With the first two albums, it was just songs that I loved and felt like I could interpret as my own. And this album, Portrait, was the first time I felt like I took the reins, of sort of creative direction, and bandmates and songs and honestly kind of opened up even more to my bandmates and said, arrange, I want you guys to orchestrate this next era because I can only do so much. We all have our limits, and I want to be around people who can strengthen each other, can strengthen me, help me to be a better singer and be a better listener and stretch myself musically and vocally in ways that I wouldn't have thought of if they hadn't presented those ideas. So it was definitely a big leap, I think, from maybe what people thought I should do after the second album, after the Best New Artist, after all of that kind of stuff. And I think this album taught me the importance of patience and not rushing to stay relevant or spark up a moment or just stay in that moment. It taught me to just take my time and really wait until you have something you feel like you have to say. So I would much rather do that and spend my time figuring out how to be a better artist and a musician and being in it for the longevity rather than trying to stay, in a moment as wonderful as it was. Whoever is drawn to me from that moment, I want there to be something there for them, something of substance, something that's been developed and thought through. So yeah, this album, it's taught me a lot about what I can do, and it's taught me to stand firm in the creative vision and the direction that I see for myself. Because I want to make good music and I want to connect with people. That will never change. But I just don't want to stay stuck or do things that are not for the music or not for the genuine connection that I seek to continue to strengthen with audiences. My song is called Peace of Mind, and I wrote it kind of in the how do I say it? I wrote it in a time where I was really questioning whether I could continue or not, because I was so exhausted. I was exhausted. There were opportunities that were booked, and then I was doing shows. It was amazing, but there were also an onslaught of other things that were kind of coming in, and it was just being pulled in so many different directions, all at once. And so I was just like, I feel like I'm not grounded anymore. I feel like I'm just up in the air and, just trying to hang on. And writing this song for the first time, like my first sort of lyrics and my first original kind of melody, where do you find your peace of mind? Sometimes you feel like giving up, but don't ever lose hope. And it may sound strange, like this is like one of the best times of my life. Like, why am I losing hope or feeling like I'm gonna give up? But just wondering whether I could handle it, wondering whether I could make the right choice. I've been given this golden opportunity. Am I going to mess it up? How do I, I want to stay true, but how do I, uphold maybe this new standard or attention, or it was just all so overwhelming. But then I reminded myself through that Sun Ra composition, Dreams Come True, that I have experienced something wonderful, and it doesn't have to be the end all be all. This is just the beginning, and it's not I've done it. I have accomplished it. I did it. Now I can, now this is just a springboard for all of the other creative ideas that I have and what I feel like I have to offer. And having those songs put together on the album was important for me, just to show people I haven't changed. I want to grow and I want to continue to be the best musician that I can be, but I haven't changed. And I felt it was really important as I don't want to say a follow-up, but as just the next musical statement the next album. I felt it was important to kind of set in stone, no matter what, how beautiful the accolades are, this is what my mission is and this is what my goal is musically, and I want that to stay true. I mean, that was just a crazy weekend in general. Like I always say I never expected to be nominated. I never thought that was a possibility, at least so early on in my career. And the album had just come out. It had just come out, and I just realized 2 months later that I had been nominated in that huge category. So the whole weekend was unforgettable, having my family with me, and being in LA and seeing all of these different celebrities and stuff, and really being like, oh my gosh, am I supposed to be here? And so that night, being on stage and having to give a speech in that moment and seeing all of these, leaders and game changers when it comes to music and individuality. And I don't know, it was just it was just surreal. A couple years ago, I did the Hollywood Bowl, and it was a birthday celebration for Quincy Jones. And obviously all of his friends, were there, which was like, Greg Fillinganes and all of these wonderful people. But Patty Austin, I got the chance to sing alongside of her. And backstage, she was just she was funny and sharp and quick, but she was just very, very supportive and very honest, but just very supportive and encouraging, and even sent a text, later on, exchanged numbers, like, whatever you need, I'm here for you. And that meant a lot to me from somebody who has been in the industry for as long as she has, and collaborated with Quincy Jones and George Benson and James Ingram and all these people, to be so encouraging on this new journey as I kind of embark on it. So yeah, wonderful artists that I draw inspiration from, Billy Strayhorn, Duke Ellington, that through the course of their lives contributed to the changing, to the evolution of the music that we call jazz. So I know that there's always going to be a certain sense of nostalgia and a certain artist or song that people can connect to or relate to easily, because jazz is not mainstream, at least to me. I don't think, unless it is really, 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 really watered down, I don't think it will be. But it's an opportunity for me to once again be authentic and show people, like, have you ever heard of this Abbey Lincoln song? Or, maybe this Thelonious Monk song doesn't have lyrics, but I can put lyrics to them and share a different compositional style and a different voice in jazz. And so I guess that's my way of reclaiming it and educating in a way, and just introducing people to the sound, a sound that they may not recognize at first, but good music is good music. So I feel very honored and sometimes undeserving because of how new my relationship to their music was initially. I hadn't really listened to their music or their voices at all growing up, and getting introduced to them in college, it just felt like another world had opened up. And I felt like I want to sing. I want to be able to move people the way that they move me with their voices. And it was a combination of technique, but also just emotional. It was a balanced mix of the two, because there are many singers who are incredible technically, but they can't move you the way that an Ella or Sarah or Betty can. Mm-hmm. So their inspiration, it's still. I mean, it's every time I listen to them, I'm like, okay, I have a lot of work to do, because there's just so many things, so many effortless ways that they play with color, and their tone is so warm and full. It still inspires me to this day, and I'm honored and grateful that people hear me and it reminds them of the legends. So.